This is a commonly asked question, and I just want to make some clarification about spousal visa, especially for students. I've had this question coming through, actually generally dependent visa. So this will be either for children or your spouse. I've had people ask me, Sheila, I'm very interested in to study abroad. How do you go about? Because I'm already married, I have children. I don't know whether I can leave my children behind. I don't know whether I can leave my husband behind. I don't know whether I can leave my wife behind. What I want to share today, again, I am not an immigration attorney. I have experience having gone through this at a personal level, and I also have students that we've helped to come over with their spouse, and years of experience, especially with the team that's behind Global Impact Network, that has been helping a lot of students with their application, admission, and even getting acceptance in various universities all over the world. So what I want to share today is that many student visas give dependent visa to the spouses and to the children. So yes, if you are applying to come in as a student, your spouse will get visa, and your children will also get visa. And case example, if you are coming to study in the US, you have two categories of visas. You have the J visa and you have the F visa. The person who's going to study will be given the J visa or the F visa. The difference between the J and F visa depends on who is sponsoring your studies. If the government is sponsoring your studies, that's the US government is sponsoring your study through either Fulbright or other government, program, US government program, you will get a J visa. And if you're married, and you have children, your husband and your dependents will get J2 visa. Okay, I hope I'm making myself clear. If you're coming in and you've gotten scholarship, so which means that the university is the one helping you in terms of paying for your studies, or you are also going to paying for living expenses from your pocket, or your parents are sponsoring you, or any other, you're going to get an F visa. Okay, as the person who's coming to study. The people who are coming, your husband, your wife, your children, the dependents on you, like your children, your spouses, they're going to get an F2 visa. So now, when they get an F2 visa, you get an F1 visa. There are always those privileges and also things to look at. When your spouse come with you to the US, I'm giving an example with the US, and also to mention, I came to the US with my daughter, and she is an F2, so she's dependent on my status. I am an F1 student, so she's dependent on my status. As a dependent, she is allowed to study. Your spouse can also do studies like English language, cultural exchange, and all that. They're allowed to study. So my daughter is fully in school. Most public schools here in the US are free. We have charter schools that you can pay small amount again, but she's in a public school. So it's free education, transport, food, and some of these things, it's not free per se, it's provided by the government, so it's taxpayers' money, let me say it that way, but you don't pay school fees. Your spouse, before he gets the F2 visa, there are some things that you need to show. One thing that it is important that you need to show is your marriage certificate. So come we stay, marriages are not legalized, they're not recognized at the embassy, so they have to show marriage certificate, and that marriage certificate has to be certified that it's legal, you are married. Some people have seen go to the embassy with their pictures, the wedding photos and all that. That's kind of they might not even ask for it. But if you want to carry it to prove your marriage, that's fine. But what they'll need is your legal document showing that you are married. If you're coming with a child, I remember I had to show my birth certificate, my daughter's birth certificate, that indicates I'm the mother, and the dad and the father has to be there in person. If the father cannot be there, or the other parent is not available, they can write a letter, or they can give authorization, or even a phone number that they can be called, they can be reached to authorize that. Remember, your dependents, that's your spouse and your children, will make formal application, and they will use a different form called, it's the same form you're going to you as a person you're going to apply to, but they're also going to fill in a form called DS-160. DS-160 will get all those information, and under dependent, like who is the main person, they'll put in your details, they'll apply, and they'll also go for a formal interview session. So it's not automatic that when you get your visa, they'll also automatically get a visa. It's just like, you might have different visa dates. For my case, I had same visa dates with my daughter. Some people have the same time, some people get different dates depending on the availability of the visa officers. So you will have different forms. For the children, you'll have to put in the birth certificate. Spouse, you have to come with their certified legal document of marriage. Some people will request, actually you have to show financial proof that you're able to, because now this person is your dependent, you'll show financial proof that you're able to take care of them. I had to show financial proof for my daughter, and that was an extra $5,000. So you have to show that financial proof. And again, the dependents are reliable on the person who's coming to study. If their term of engagement in that particular country is done, they have to renew the visas or go back to their home country and all that. As I mentioned, they have different visa in different countries, have different privileges, but I know in the US the children are allowed to study. The children are allowed to you can with F1 and F2 visas and J1 and J2, you have multiple entries, so you can travel. We've traveled to Mexico, we've traveled back to Kenya, we traveled with our visa, so it allows you to travel. As an F1 with my visa, I've been able to get social security, so I've seen people who are able to buy even houses as a student, so you are able to invest. As an F2, husband cannot work. You're not allowed to work in the US because you're dependent, and that's why the F1 shows financial documents that they're able to take care of you. Should you want to also study, you can change your status and also get an F1. You can also do studies, get an official F1, and you can also transition. With F1, you're allowed to work as you study. And all this, again, it's good to consult an immigration lawyer, but there are so many opportunities of you coming in as an F1 and also coming in with their spouse and their children as an F2. Many of these opportunities gets clarity when you when you go for interviews. Just make sure that you have those documents. When you travel, make sure that you have every document in place. Don't check in your documents, because you'll need to show the I-20 of the, actually I also forgot to mention that when you're applying, you'll put in the service ID for your spouse, the person who's having F1. As an F2, you put in the service ID, which is on your I-20, on the spouse I-20, but you'll also get your own I-20, so you'll have I-20, you'll have this, you'll have to pay visa fee, and you'll have to go through the interview process to gain visa. And with that, you are legally, when you come to study abroad, like as an F2 holder, you can also open bank account. You can. The only thing you can't do much is just working, and that can change depending on, again, status. And some states are allowing F2 to work, some states. So again, this depends from one state to the other. In UK, dependents are allowed to work, so you can work in Canada. So it depends from one country to the other. But the documents that are required for you to work, for you to apply for a dependent visa, are almost the same. You need the student, you need the marriage certificate, you'll need financial proof, you'll need to have the I-20 copy of the main person and such kind of things. So again, I didn't introduce myself, or I did, I don't remember, but my name is Sheila Vandegraff. I'm here in the US. I currently graduated with my second master's in international development. I'm very, very privileged to share such information with you. I came here with my daughter, and it has been awesome experience that I also would wish for you to experience. If you need help with the application, reach out to us. We are here to help you make your journey awesome. Have a nice time. Bye. Please subscribe, like, share. Thank you.